Okay, hello everybody from sunny Puerto Vallarta. I wanted to make a video of a list that I've been compiling about things that I wish I knew earlier in life. So I'm obviously, middle-aged dude, and there's a lot of things that if I knew these, like deeply understood these things earlier in my teens or my 20s or heck 30s or 40s, it might have put me on a little different trajectory, or I might have worried less, or, just had less anxiety about stuff. So there's 7 things that I think are kind of like life lessons, but they just mattered to me. Okay, number 1, when you're taking advice from anybody, always consider the source. People love giving advice, and sometimes you ask for it, sometimes you don't. But even if you do ask for it, even if it's from somebody that you respect, always think about, okay, what's their life experience that led them to have this opinion on this thing? Maybe you're saying, I'm thinking about a business idea, or I'm thinking about buying this type of car, or, am I with the right girl or guy to marry? And you're asking for advice. The person's perspective, the source of that opinion, is at least as important as the content of their opinion. You don't know a person's story, and you don't know what they might be bitter about or jaded about, or what kind of scar they have from making a bad decision. And so that's all packed into their opinion when you ask them. And so always think about that. And sometimes it's tricky because you think, well, this is a smart person. This is someone I respect. It's my parent, or it's my boss, or a teacher, professor. They know stuff, so I'm going to trust what they tell me. Truth is, smart doesn't even enter into it. It has everything to do with your life experiences. So just keep that in mind. Somebody says, no, I don't think it's a good idea to move to Boston because Boston is this. Or I don't think you should get married because of this. It speaks more about what they've been through, and they don't know where you're coming from. So just always have that grain of salt in there with their opinion when you're considering it. Okay, here's number 2 thing I wish I knew earlier. When you choose a career, when you choose, what you're going to be making your living at, you will never outperform somebody who is more passionate at that same thing. So no matter what it is, whether you decide you want to open a bakery, or you want to sell real estate, or you want to go into banking, or you want to fix cars, if you had 2 people with exactly the same education, with the same means, same opportunity, but one person loves doing that thing, and they'd spend time on it in their free time if they could. They'd work for free if they could. Take a realtor. I've worked with a few realtors where one person is in it because they think it makes a good living, because of all the sensible reasons that they tell you. It's you're your own boss, and you can set your own hours, and blah, blah, blah. You got that guy paired up with somebody that loves to make people happy, that loves to help them find their dream home, and just loves the whole ceremony of giving a family the keys to their new house. They will beat you. Not that it has to be a competition, but just know that if you pick something that you think makes a good living for you, but also you love, that's a potent combination over the long run. Because when other people get tired and frustrated, maybe the money isn't good for a stretch, they'll quit. But somebody that loves it with every fiber of their being won't quit. And they'll keep going, and they will beat you. So I guess the lesson from that is, why wouldn't you pick something at the outset that, you can make some money at, you can support yourself with, but also that you love? Why not just choose that early rather than come to it later? Because over the long tail of a career, 25, 30, 40 years, you will be unstoppable. So anyway, that's number 2. Okay, number 3 thing I wish I knew earlier in life. And I'm learning it now. But that is, don't tell anybody more than they need to know about you. Respect your own privacy. Don't walk around saying what you're going to do or, decisions you're pondering. It's none of their business. It's not something that you need to share. If you're going to make it happen, then your actions will reveal it. People will find out. But the problem with talking about your plans and your goals and decisions and stuff like that is that then you involuntarily are asking for judgment. And you're asking for doubters, and you're asking for people to talk about you. And you're opening yourself up to gossip. I find when somebody does something big that I had no idea that they were working on, I have such respect for that. Because that there were many times that they were excited about it and they couldn't wait to tell someone. They decided not to. They had the willpower to keep it quiet. And I think that's just so cool. And not to mention the fact that it didn't open themselves up for criticism. So again, number 3, don't tell anyone anything more than they need to know. Respect your own privacy. Here's another one. Don't discount experience. Experience has value in ways that you can't even know yet. You may think that because you were trying to do something and it didn't work out and you failed and you have your tail between your legs and you move on thinking that you've wasted your time or you made a mistake or how could I be so stupid, whatever. The experience that you've gained really has value, and it goes into a database that at some point in your life, you're going to be in similar circumstances and you're going to be so happy that you had that failure, that you learned something. You took a moment and you said, oh, now I know what doesn't work and I can apply that to this situation. So next time you think you've lost, just take a minute and absorb what's happened. See if there's an experience that you can draw from it and put in the database to be used later. All right, next on the list of things I wish I knew earlier. Most people, in fact, almost all people, are really good people. Most people are really good people. I'll say it again. They have the same worries as you. They have the same concerns as you. They have the same morality as you. They have the same love for family and friends. They want things to work out. They want peace. They laugh at the same things. No matter who you are, where in the world you come from, most people are really good. So what does that change if you really believe that? That makes every stranger a really good person you haven't met yet. It kind of shifts for you that cautiousness that we approach life with, or every new social interaction. If you really know in your heart, they want the same things I want. And they also, on the flip side, they have the same insecurities that I do. They have the same need to be accepted and to be respected and loved, just like you do. So if you know that, it really changes the way you go about your business in the world. And here's how I know that most people are really good people. And I think it's changed in the last, 20 years, where it's now really obvious. And so think about this for a second. Would you have thought, if you're old enough to remember, that you would feel comfortable renting out your own home to a stranger that met you on the internet? Or renting out your own car? Or buying something from a person on the internet and then going into their living room and looking at it and giving them money? I think we've all kind of come to this realization that, at least if you use Airbnb or I forget the name of the ride sharing service, or Uber or Facebook Marketplace, you've come to realize that, hey, you know what? Most people are not serial killers or are not creeps that are trying to take advantage of me. They're just trying to make a few bucks. And if you can go through life understanding, with very rare exception, people are good, then you're going to make a lot more friends and you're going to have a lot better time. Number 6. No one cares. No one cares. All those little things that you feel insecure about, or you feel are inadequate about you, or you wonder if you offended somebody, or should you have said this or that instead, or what do they think about how you're living your life? What do they think about your choices, your partner, your career, what kind of parent you are, what kind of a child you are? Nobody cares. And you want to know why? Because everyone is so self-absorbed in their own insecurities and in their own business, in their own life. They don't take 2 seconds to think about you and yours. And yeah, I know you think, well, my spouse does, my mother cares, my dad cares. That's different. They care about your general well-being. The thing that you're obsessing about in the moment, the thing that is keeping you from just proceeding confidently in the world, they don't care about that. No one cares. So what does that mean? That means stop being such a harsh critic of yourself. Using yourself as a reference point to other people. Nobody cares. So stop it. Okay, and here's number 7. There is no great reward without great risk. You cannot accomplish something big and meaningful without taking risks, without knuckling down and committing to the fact that there's going to be hard times, that your friends are going to be buying new cars and new houses and going on trips and doing amazing things, and you're not, because you're working on something with huge upside. So the idea that you can prioritize safety and comfort in your life and accomplish something amazing just does not exist. The best you can do, I think, if you prioritize safety and comfort, is have a safe and comfortable life. I wish I knew that earlier, because there's been times when I've stuck my neck out, and I went into business in my 20s for myself, did that for a long time, but then kind of fell back on safety. It's hard to stand next to that fire for a long time. And then tried it again later, and gosh, the harsh reality of an expensive world kind of hit me, and I needed to fall back on comfort and safety. Not complaining, I've had a good life, had some good successes. However, the ones that became wildly successful and are multimillionaires or billionaires didn't. They were able to hang in there longer. So I guess that's something I wish I knew earlier, that you just can't have it both ways.